Hello and welcome to the Justice Factor. A major shake-up of the South African media landscape was announced on Monday. Lodidox, a company owned by former cabinet spokesperson Mzwanele Manyi, has bought the Gupta family-owned ANN7 television station and the New Age newspaper for a reported 450 million rand. What does this mean? My guest is the man at the heart of it all, Mzwanele Manyi. After a discussion, we'll have our winner and loser of the week. Now, to the man who now owns ANN7 and the New Age, Mzwanele Manyi. Mzwanele Manyi, welcome to the show. Take me into your confidence. How did this deal come about?
Let me say good evening to you, Justice, and to your viewers. And let's see how you're going to fail to embarrass me tonight.
I'm not going to try.
Okay, good. No, look, I think it's been long coming, and I've been watching this opportunity, and I thought, let me grab this opportunity and run with it, because here you've got a very good business. You've got very good assets. I've been to those assets a few times. I know the quality of even the technology is world-class, and all that. This business has got serious potential. And if one looks at also government trying to cut costs, one can also offer a very good proposition for government not to invest more into media platforms, but to see what it can do to leverage on the assets that are there. So indeed, it's a good platform even for private sector business that was saying to business, here is an opportunity for a state-of-the-art equipment and everything, and editorial policy that is going to ensure that business thrives, government thrives. So it's an opportunity that could not be led by.
I'm interested that you talk about government. Isn't this the same business model that the Gupta family has run this business on, if you will call it a business? And that model is basically take money from government, put it in advertising in the New Age, take money from government and put it into breakfast, and Bob's your uncle, you're making cash without actually coming to the party with circulation, for example, or viewership, in the case of ANN7.
Let me educate you, Justice.
Educate me,
let me educate you. You see, what is important for everybody to understand, which only New Age and ANN7 understand, is that the issue of communication is in itself service delivery. So when government puts information into the newspaper, whether it's in the New Age or in ANN7, and they support that information with adverts and everything, that is not news, it's in government information. So for government to put that into New Age and for New Age to be given free to some of the communities and so on, that in its own is service delivery, because now New Age has become a conveyor belt for government to communicate to the public. So indeed, we would want government to contribute.
I'm sorry, when you communicate, you want to know how many people you're communicating with, how many people there are out there. Now, let's take the New Age newspaper. In 2015, it had 153,000 readers. Right? The Sowetan had 1.6 million. Government spent 10 million. The Department of Communications, which you used to advise, spent 10 million rand on the New Age, 10 million rand on Sowetan. The Daily Sun with 5.3 million readers, only 7 million rand. Isolezwe, a Zulu language newspaper, largely in KwaZulu-Natal, had 1.1 million readers and only 1.2 million rand. It seems to me that the New Age was wearing political clothes and saying, look at me, is that what you're saying you're going to do?
You don't understand. It's a business model issue. You must remember all the publications you've spoken about, they report what they call news, when in fact it's all the various deviations and all the negative ones. That's all they're focusing on. What we are focusing on is government information and news. So it's both.
Hold on. But you're a private business, and now you're telling me that you're doing government communication.
Yes, it's a business model. Let me tell you what that means. Government has got to ensure that it gets information across to the public, not only government, business as well. So for us, our business model were a conveyor belt for both government and business for information other than deviation, I think the fundamental difference...
No. There are 5.3 million South Africans reading the Daily Sun on a daily basis in 2015.
Looking for
Surely government, if government wants to say, you know what, we are going to be late with social grants, those are the people it should be communicating with. You're telling me about 153,000 new age readers, and many would argue that are there really readers there?
No, but what we are missing, fundamentally, what I'm missing is that the publications that you're talking about comes and says it wants to communicate. What a communication platform. We're not just a news junkie, as it were. So what we're comparing New Age and ANN7 with is news junkies. We're not a news junkie. We've got a bit of news, but we're a publication, we're a media house that is going to communicate information, including news. So this is what we're about. For instance, if I come to you here
are you saying that, for example, let me take the newspaper.
Many houses the government has built and all of that. For us, it's very important because we take the issue of government communication seriously, that government communication
I
is
think you're maligning these
service delivery.
If you go and ask Minister Lindiwe Sisulu, she'll tell you these newspapers have written about her human settlement initiatives. These are the same newspapers where I've read some of that information.
Yeah, no, I think it's by chance that most of those newspapers, their focus,
but you haven't given me really a scientific, you've accused them, but you haven't given me a scientific answer that says, in such a year, these people did this and they didn't report. Business Day and the New Age, in a media tenor study, it found that 10%, this is media tenor, which is used by the New Age, by the way. Media tenor found that 10% of coverage of Jacob Zuma, President of the Republic of South Africa, was positive. In the Business Day, 9% was positive. So your allegation that this is just tittle-tattle doesn't hold water, according to media tenor.
I don't understand. President Zuma is not government. He's President Zuma. Government to say, government, do not waste money trying to invest on communication platforms. Come to us. We want to be your conveyor belt. We will report the news. We are also going to be an information conveyor belt to the people. If you go,
but my brother,
I have to make this
you're
point.
Not talking to the people.
If you go
you're talking to 153,000 readers.
No, but
when the Daily Sun is speaking to 5.3 million, surely government should be spending on the Daily Sun.
No, it shouldn't, because those people have got an editor. This is what you don't seem to get into your head, Justice. Try and take a deep breath and listen carefully.
I'm listening carefully.
I'm saying to you, these news hounds that you're talking about, they deal with what they deem newsworthy, and they make the decision on what is newsworthy or not newsworthy. What I am saying is that we are an information publication that has news and other things. So if you come to me, I'm not going to make a value judgment that you want to talk about this, want to talk about that. I allow you to do whatever I want to do because I understand your role as government, that you must communicate. You guys, the rest of the media in South Africa hasn't understood its role in terms of conveying information. It sees its role as reporting negative deviation. Even if it's positive deviation, you don't report. So it's okay. You can stay with that.
You don't seem to watch ANN7. Let me tell you what ANN7 was running with in the past week and a half.
Yeah.
It was running with stories saying, who are these, who are these villains who voted against President Jacob Zuma in the vote of motion of no confidence in Parliament? And you say people here in other stations and other media are reporting negatively. You don't seem to be watching the product that
I don't think you understand. There's a difference between reporting negatively and reporting facts. What happened, what was reported in ANN7 is fact. You have 26 plus MPs that voted in a way that was not expected. That is fact. So if you want facts, you must come to ANN7. That's a place to get facts.
Hold on.
If you want sensation,
the vote was
this is the place to be.
It was 98, 177. The number you've just quoted is known by all of us, that it was a number of ANC MPs moved from voting all along in 7 different motions, from voting with the party and moved the other way. So I'm not sure what you're saying about what ANN7 is reporting.
You said they were talking about that information. I'm saying that was factual reporting.
Okay.
You must be saying to me they are reporting something that is sensational, that is not even there. Then they will be on the same low base as the rest of what you guys do. So ANN7 and the New Age are credible information. The 26 that you're talking about is factual. We report facts, we report accurately. That's what we do.
I'm going to stop you there and say we're going to continue this conversation after this break, and we'll be back with Mzwane Lemanyi, the new owner of ANN7 and the New Age newspaper.
Today is the day of every woman who have raised their voice for their rights.
Walk through that doorway of opportunity.
You are a full woman. Her place is anywhere where she chooses to be.
Have your feet firm on the ground and constantly work.
Our biggest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure.
My name is Warrant Officer Andries Douglas, also known as Sensei Andries. We started the Reading for Life program about 4 or 5 years ago, and the reason why is to incorporate the reading within our karate curriculum. If you read a book, whatever bout you're going through, then we expect of you to read a book, and then you have to tell us what was that book about. You have to live your life knowing that you've done well. Live your life purposefully, live your life in service, and that's what I feel.
These are South African heroes.
Welcome back to the Justice Factor. We continue our live discussion with the new owner of ANN7 and the New Age newspaper, Mzwane Lemanyi. Mzwane Lemanyi, let's get back to the business that you've just bought. What do the financials look like? You've said that this is a business with potential. Yeah. Is it a business that is washing its face, as it were, right now?
If it wasn't, you would know by now there would be all kinds of problems of staff not getting paid or all kinds of trouble. Right now, you're not hearing that because it's not there.
We don't know.
With all the leakages that are always there, this business is washing its face as we speak. It's a viable business, and in fact, as we speak right now, it's operating low, very low below where it should be operating, which is the opportunity. And I'm going to take this business from where it is to the sky. And we're going to be getting new talent, even yourself, Justice. You're welcome to join us there. I can pay you double what ENCA is paying you. So are you coming on board? I'm looking for quality talent. I think you can be rehabilitated to come and do the proper job. So the job offer is there for you.
Well, I mean, perhaps we should segue a bit from the financial questions, and let me ask you, when you say people should be rehabilitated, for example, what is your editorial vision for this, for these assets? Because many people would say to you today, oh, there is Mzwane Lemanyi, he's fronting for the Guptas, and he's taking over a propaganda machine for a faction of the ruling party.
Yeah, no, I'm happy you raised that question. We raised a few questions in one sentence. The first point to make is that the issue of fronting is criminal activity. So anybody accusing me of fronting is accusing me of a crime. It's a very serious and an unfortunate accusation that we should get away from. There is no criminality here, and this is a clean business. The editorial policy, I'm the owner.
Hold on. Before you go on that issue, isn't it true to say that the Gupta family is facing a major challenge, and it's that 4, now 5, including Bank of Baroda, 5 banks are saying please, we're shutting down and we have shut down your account. And this month, August, is the last month that they can pay their employees at these businesses through the bank that he still has an account with. Therefore, they actually have faced a financial crunch. They cannot run businesses in this country because they are politically exposed.
You must talk to the Guptas. I don't represent the Guptas.
You're very good friends with them, though.
Yes, I'm an owner.
In fact, send them your CV and someone else's CV saying, put me on the board of
If you want to talk alone, then you must say. You should not have brought me here. I'm an owner of Lodi Dogs. So I speak for Lodi Dogs, this company that is buying out. And I don't understand why I bought out the Guptas. Why are you even talking about the Guptas? The only equity left.
You haven't bought the Guptas out. They provided vendor financing to you. To Lodi Dogs.
Yes.
Now, Lodi Dogs, your business, which is a shelf company that was only you became active in June when Mr. Host left.
That's not a secret.
That is not a secret at all. What role will the Guptas continue to play as they hold such power over your business, Lodi Dogs?
No. Let me tell you what's going to happen. I've bought them out, and everybody that has bought anybody out, that means that person's got a debt. You can't have a debt on the one hand, and on the other hand, be told that the business is owned elsewhere. If it's owned elsewhere, then I don't have a debt. Then I'm just an employee. So I can tell you now, I'm not an employee there. I own this business. Yes, I've got a debt to service, and I've got a plan how to service this debt, and I'm very confident that debt will be paid out. The editorial policy of this business, obviously, I'm an owner.
You have said a lot about how the banks, for example, and you've made allegations against how they pull the strings. So let's say, there's a recession and you're not making as much money as you hope to make from the private sector and maybe from the public sector as well. And you need to renegotiate the terms of your loan with the Gupta family. Surely that is where they pay the piper and they will be telling you, we don't like the line that you're taking.
No, it's not going to happen. You must remember that as we speak here and now, the only other equity owners in this business is going to be management at 10%. 90% I own. So I can right now invite, in fact, this is what I'm doing now, that to invite other partners, other people that I need to share this 90% with, because the reason I did it on my own right now, I wanted to provide quick certainty and make sure that this thing is done. Now that it's done, I'm saying to people that want to join me that the door is open. Let's have a discussion. Let's see who else that wants to share this 90 with me. That on its own is going to bring a bit more diversity. It's going to bring a bit more brains into the business, and that is also going to affect the editorial policy. Our editorial policy, by the way, is going to be one that the press code has been yearning for, where we are going to have a very clear and honest and credible reportage of news. Objectivity is going to be the ethos of this business. Ethics are going to run this business. That's how this whole thing is going to be. So this is going to be the first.
It's not like you're buying e-news channel. That's exactly what we do on the station.
What do you guys do?
News. Objective news.
Just be serious.
I'm being serious. Many people would say what you're buying is a propaganda channel.
No, but you here at ENC are actually a propaganda channel for your owners, or for the Ruperts of this world and so on that own you. You are actually a propaganda channel.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, you're making allegations without any facts. I mean, you're just saying this stuff because I don't know why you're saying.
This is why, the reason I'm saying that is because the only reason I am here today is because you are hoping as hell that you're going to embarrass me. That's the only reason.
You
do not want diversity in this channel.
No, hold on. How many times have you been in that chair on this show?
Once in 6 months.
No.
Yes. When was last was a year?
Well, you were here with your good friend Andile Mkritama, who I have to ask you've been here the same show with Andy. No, you have.
Let's all look the same to you. I was not here with Andy.
Black First, Land First has attacked journalists. Do you support their actions?
What? I'm not here to talk about Black First, Land First. I'm here to talk about.
You're a media owner, and
I'm not an editor. I'm not a journalist. I'm a media owner. My approach,
They could march on the house of Mohsin Williams, for example.
Yeah, well, look, all of those will be dealt with at operational level. I'm an owner.
As an owner, do you think that's healthy? Democracy?
My brief is to make sure that this business grows, and I'm here to talk about growth of this business.
Grow journalism. The journalism is the heart of this business that you've bought.
Yes.
Do you support the actions of Andile Mqitama and Black First Land First?
I don't know what they've done. Where have they been doing this?
They have attacked journalists. They have disrupted meetings of Amabungani, the investigator.
You know what I actually saw on the social media, by the way, if you talk about journalists on the
you have seen what has
on the social media, on the social media. I saw Andile sitting down. I saw a guy walking with a blue shirt. I don't know him, but a guy with a blue shirt, he went and he said whatever he said to Andile, got Andile to stand up. So I don't know what he said, and we never say about this. So for me, all I have seen is that Andile was sitting quietly, minding his business, and he was provoked.
Mqitama and the Black First Land First marching to the house of Peter Bruce and harassing him.
I do not support the guy with the blue shirt provoking Andile, sitting down quietly listening to what Amapungana is saying.
Do you stand
that
for
kind
press
of
freedom? Do you stand for press freedom, for freedom of the press, for the right for journalists to practice what they practice, even if sometimes you don't agree with me, I don't agree with some of the people who may or may not present it?
I subscribe to the Constitution of this country. The Constitution of this country demands that press freedom should be there. So therefore, that question is actually irrelevant.
In 2011, you threatened to withdraw government advertising from some media because you said government was not getting its bang for its buck.
Yes.
Do you still hold those views that some media should not get government advertising?
No, that you had a wrong understanding of what I was saying. Even as we speak today, government still is not getting its bang for its buck. If you look at how much government is spending on media, and you look at what is getting for it, it's really a very
The example I made earlier is is part of that the New Age newspaper with only 153,000 readers and no ABC certificate gets 10 million rand, the same as more than the Daily Sun with 5.3 million.
I think you are making too much of the so-called ABC certificate. This is your own cartel arrangement. This ABC thing, there's nothing credible about it. You've got these cartel media companies that are sitting together and deciding to cut everybody out and decide to make this thing as if it's credible. There's nothing credible about ABC.
Mr. Manya, I'm not going to fight with you about cartels. You defended some of these cartels in your previous life.
Which one is that? Which cartel? I've never defended a cartel. You're lying.
You were a spokesperson for a company that was found.
What's that got to do with a cartel?
Tiger was found to have fixed prices.
So?
That is cartel behavior, isn't it?
What's that got to do with me?
Oh, it's poor people. So I thought you were for the poor.
So the fact that ABSA has been found doing shady deals, does that mean everybody that works in ABSA has a problem? You're not making sense.
Has the Gupta family captured South Africa?
South Africa has never had a time when it was never captured. It has always been captured.
Yeah, but that's a whataboutism. Has the Gupta family captured the government of South Africa and President Zuma and his son, Duduzane, in particular?
I don't know how you define capture, but if you look at the size of business that the Guptas have in this country, to say capture is a serious
well, I'm talking about their power. I'm talking about their power, for example, to appoint ministers like Mosebenzi Zwane.
What has captured South Africa is people like BHP Billiton, Anglo-American of this world, that have signed a 40-year contract with Eskom on a cost-plus model. That is classical state capture. Those are the people that have captured this government. You can't tell me about people who supply Eskom only 5%. You say that is capture. That's peanuts. That's nothing. Capture is what white monopoly capital is doing, particularly with Eskom. That is capture. Capture is what Anglo is doing at Transnet, where they own 75% of the rail line to Saldanha. And if you are a new mining company, you can't get a rail space. That is capture.
Mzanele Manyi, I'd like to continue this conversation, but I can't. We've run out of time. Maybe one day there'll be a 1-hour show.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mzanele Manyi, thanks so much for your time. After the break, our winner and loser of the week. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Justice Factor. Now for our winner and loser of the week. First, the winner of the week. Academics in KwaZulu-Natal have pointed out that one of the key reasons why local councillors are being killed in massive numbers in KwaZulu-Natal is because they can then be replaced by any Vusi, Tom, Dick or Sipho. One does not need a qualification or skill to be a local councillor or to be a member of parliament for that matter. You just need to shout louder than everyone else. That is why those who can walk away from an MP salary, such as Dr. Makosi Khoza of the ANC, are able to stand up and speak with a conscience. This is the reason why so many celebrated last week when Mboiseni Ndlozi of the EFF received his PhD from Wits University. It shows that this 32-year-old is not in parliament for the money, but to serve his people. Many others who spew bile in our politics would be well advised to follow his example. And so our winner of the week is Dr. Mboiseni Ndlozi. And now to our loser of the week. The so-called First Lady of Zimbabwe, Grace Mugabe, assaulted a young South African woman at the Sandton Hotel last weekend. She broke the laws of South Africa. We shouldn't be surprised. This is what she does all the time in her country, Zimbabwe, where law and order has collapsed. What is shocking here is what our country has chosen to do. Minister of International Relations, Maite Mashabane, chose to take the side of the abuser and granted Grace Mugabe diplomatic immunity. What was she thinking? What about justice for Gabriella Engels, the person assaulted here? We are more than disappointed. We are outraged. We, along with Gabriella Engels and her family, feel let down by our own government. But one thing we are not is surprised. After all, this minister did tell us she has a hole in her head. Now we see what this loser meant. And so our loser of the week is Minister of International Relations, Maite Mashabane. What a disgusting loser. That's how we come to the end of our show. Email us on justicefactor@enca.com, tweet us on @justicefactor, and like us on Facebook.